Welcome back. How do we ensure that the SMEs take their pride of place in the country and then move things forward? There's been several recommendations, several policies, but which should we look at? How or which one should hit the nail on the head? We've got Mr. Bayo Rutimi here with us today. He's a business market analyst. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Always a pleasure.
Well, we've seen different directives from the CBN, one of which, perhaps the latest, when they did ask banks to remit 5% of the profit after tax to agro SME investment scheme. And that there's been different reactions to that particular one, whether or not it will achieve its aim, especially when they had the previous anchor borrowers program. But about this particular one, what kind of impact will this have on the SMEs?
All right, thank you very much. My view is this. This is not the first time the CBN and bankers have come up with this SME investment scheme. Many years ago, I think it was actually 10% of the bank's profits that was set aside. The challenge has always been implementation. So it wasn't run properly. The scheme did not quite achieve its objectives. A lot of people took the money and really did not use it for the purposes it was meant for. This time around, the CBN say they've gone back into consultation with Bankers Committee. They've tweaked the scheme. So this time around, 5% will be set aside, but this time the funds will be warehoused in the CBN, as opposed to the previous scheme when largely the funds remained with the banks. So my view is, if properly implemented, this could be one of the catalysts that we've been looking for that could help drive the activities in the SME space. Previous intervention funds by the CBN have not worked for a variety of reasons. I think first and foremost, the terms and conditions were onerous. You know, you are asking SMEs to bring collateral before they can access CBN intervention funds. So they are not in effect any different from the commercial banks. So that is why the 220 billion SME scheme, up till today, 3-4 years later, we've not seen up to 50% utilization.
So is the collateral element missing in this one?
Yes, the beauty of this one, and this is something we've been advocating for a long time, is rather than lending money to an SME, this is actually going to be an equity investment for a maximum period of 10 years. So the entrepreneur will not be bothered about debt service, interest rates, and all of that. This is an equity investment, and the return on that investment will be like dividends. So it's like you buying a share in any company listed on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. So this is one of the things we have been advocating, but it must be carefully implemented so that its objectives can be achieved.
Why did it take this long coming?
Well, sometimes it takes a long time for government and government entities to do the right thing. Our job as citizens is to continue to agitate and advocate for all of these things. We have said, and a lot of people in this space have also said the same thing, that look, some businesses, particularly the small businesses, at some stage in their lives, particularly the early stages, they require friendly financing. And if you come up with equity and equity investment, that is the friendliest of all the funding that is available, because it takes that immediate debt service burden and pressure off the entrepreneur. So they can actually focus on running their businesses, building capacity, and hopefully thereafter generating a profit. So it is from that profit, the banks, the CBN, and the banks that have put together this fund will start recovering part of their investment.
Are we taking for granted that the SMEs already will have the structure? All they just need is the financing? Excellent
point, Chamberlain. The challenge is SMEs are facing different problems. My view, the first one is they need to build capacity. Secondly, SMEs require structure, system, processes that they lack. Number 3, in my view, will be access to finance, then friendly government policies. So one of the things that will make this work is if the Bankers Committee, the CBN, the banks themselves partner with people who can support capacity building for the SMEs and help them sift through and ensure that these businesses are indeed investment ready. Because we don't want a situation where we create another drain pipe and significant sums of monies just disappear like they tend to do from time to time.
What about interest? What about interest rates on this? how does it work out at the end for